What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Gene, and it is another week, and as promised, I am back with another video. This week, I know a lot of people who are interested or curious about buying a house or getting into rental property for investing, but they're just too scared. You know, I was that person not too long ago. I just bought my house back in May, so I'm still learning a lot, and there's still a lot to be learned. So I thought, why not create this YouTube video to kind of share what I've learned and to also take that opportunity to do my own research and learn and then share it with other people and share my mistakes too, because I've made a lot of mistakes. But this week, I've really thought about what I want to talk about, because I don't really want to jump right into buying a house. You know, a lot of people think that's where to start, is learning what are the steps of buying a house. But for me, the process was very different. And so I want to talk about the 5 things you should do or know before you get into buying a house. And one thing I would say is, if you ever had the chance, hit the like button. Please do so. It will mean a lot to me. It'll tell me that you're getting something valuable out of this. If you are getting something valuable out of this and you want to share it with somebody, please do so as well. Okay. So with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about the 5 things you should do or know before buying your house. So the very first thing you want to do is ask yourself why. And I know that sounds like a very basic question, but you really want to ask yourself, what is it about buying a house that you really want to accomplish? For me, I was living really paycheck to paycheck, and I was getting a lot of eviction notices, and I was really just looking for a way to live for free. I realized that most of my paycheck was going towards my rent, and even when it was going towards my rent, I was still behind. So I wanted to figure out a system to live for free, essentially. And that's how I kind of stumbled onto real estate and real estate investing and renting out properties. And maybe you want to go into real estate because you just like to buy a house. You've always wanted to own a house of your own, and you now have the money to do it, and you want to go buy a nice house somewhere in the city or somewhere in the suburb and just kind of live out your days. That's perfectly okay, as long as you know that that is what you want. And the reason why I say you want to know why you want to buy a house is because that will actually help you create categories that you can use to filter what houses you look for, and that will save you time. That will probably save you money, because you're not going to be looking at bad deals. You're not going to be driving to places that you don't need to be driving to. Trust me, having a why is going to help you in that, and it's going to drive you, right? It's going to give you that vision. It's going to give you that idea, and it's going to give you that motivation to keep going. Number 2, develop a budget. I know this one sounds crazy, but you really need to know exactly where your money's going at all times. This was something that I really had to learn, and I struggle with a lot. Just being a young college student, I guess you would say, and not really having the financial background to really understand how money works, I didn't always know where my money was going. And that made it very hard to, 1, save for a down payment, 2, pay my rent, remember that, 3, live, because once I got money, I was blowing it on stuff I didn't need to blow it on things that I thought were important but weren't really important. And so what I would say is develop a budget. Number 3, know what your credit score is and know how your credit score works, okay? I cannot stress this enough. Unless you have a lot of money and you've been saving, most of us are gonna have some type of loan. Your credit score, oh, I'm freaking out. I thought I saw somebody outside that window. Oh my God, okay. Know your credit score. Why? Because your credit score shows your ability to pay back loans. That's basically the bare bone definition of what a credit score is. It's pretty much a rating of your ability to pay back a loan. And banks will use this rating to determine if they want to trust you with their money. Having a good credit score is very important, because the better your credit score is, the more they will trust you with or offer you lower interest rates on whatever it is that you're asking. But to even get your foot in the door, you need to have a decent credit score. So know what your credit score is right off the bat. If you don't know what your credit score is and you want to find out, there are a few ways that you can do this. One is Credit Karma. which I'll put a link down in the description below. Credit Karma is amazing. It's free. It will tell you what your credit score is. It will give you tips and advice on how to improve your credit score. It's actually pretty cool that it does that, because it'll tell you, hey, you have this credit card, and if you pay it off by this date, this is how much your credit score can improve by. And that, for me, I personally, when I was working on my credit score, being able to see that definitely kept me motivated to keep working on my credit score. Another app that's really good for keeping track of your credit score, and it's one that I would actually recommend slightly above Credit Karma just because of this one added feature that's gonna help you with step 2 as well, is Mint. Mint is a budgeting app. When I mentioned in step 2 that you need to keep track of your budget, Mint is a great way to do that, because you can actually go in and create your monthly budget. You can add all your bills on there. You can connect all your bank accounts. It's great for budgeting, but what it also does is you are able to connect your credit score on there as well. So like I said, if you plan to buy a house, you're probably gonna need to have a decent credit score. So step 3, okay, is to know your credit score. Step 4 is pay off all of your debt, okay? If you owe somebody money, you need to be paying them off. Banks will not trust you if you have bad debt. Now, there are a lot of things that people are confused about between what is bad debt and what is good debt. And I just want to talk about some of the debt that I know for sure you want to make sure you pay off as quickly as possible if they are on your credit score, okay? Or on your credit report. First, you don't want to have any collections on your credit report. If you do, you want to pay those off as quickly as possible. Number 2 is you want to make sure that you're paying off all of your credit cards. So if you have a Macy's card, a bank credit card, whatever kind of credit card you have sitting out there, pay them off as quickly as possible. One, that's going to help you in the long run because you're going to save money on the amount of interest that you won't have to pay, but also having a high credit limit versus how much you're actually using on your credit is a good way to increase your credit score. Number 5, get educated, okay? I cannot stress this enough. When I first was getting started, the biggest thing that helped me out was consuming as much information about real estate as I possibly could. I would go to the library and I'd spend hours on the computer reading about real estate, watching YouTube videos. I'm not a big fan of reading books, believe it or not, but every now and then I will find a good real estate book and I'll read. But my favorite thing to do is actually purchase the audiobooks off of Audible and listen to them over and over and over again until it's drilled in my head, and I basically can repeat the book word for word. Get yourself educated. Go to your library. Go to BiggerPockets. Go to all these different websites where you can find resources and other people that are in the real estate game and who can answer questions, especially if it's people that are in your area. So there you have it. Those are my 5 things that I think you should know before you buy a house. If you found this video informational, please take a second to like the video and please take a second to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell as that's going to help my channel grow. Obviously, this is my first time really doing a YouTube channel consistently, and I would love to get your help in growing. One thing I would love to know also is, what do you want me to make videos about? Right now, my idea on what I want to do with these videos is kind of start you off really slow and work my way up. But if there's something that you're really curious about and you want to know right away, let me know. Anyways, thank you everyone for watching. I will see you next week. Peace.